Hello everybody and welcome to the penultimate round of the JPB Radical SR8 Championship here, powered by GridFinder. It is the Interlagos round, the final sprint round of our championship, and it is a recorded broadcast just a little bit after the fact. And myself, Ian Leary, James Parfitt alongside me for this one. I can imagine, James, you're very much looking forward to this.
I think Interlagos, as you know, my favourite circuit of all time. I think this is going to be amazing. I know we're a bit short on the grid, but I don't think that's going to take away from the racing because these guys are all so close. I think that's the thing. If there was a massive spread, I would be worried. But I think because these guys are all so close, I think it's going to be a great fight.
Yeah, John McCutcheon is currently taking the pole position. I imagine that's going to stay as it is, but we will see. These are how the points are standing going into this round. It's getting closer and closer now for John McCutcheon to seal this championship, ahead of Luke Maxwell, Paul LeMay, Ewan Bremer, as well as Jamie Bird as well, all of whom are just lurking around. Then it's Paul Crabb, who's in 6th place, ahead of Mike Bousson in 7th. Menno de Graaf, Jeff Mellis and Graham Matthew round out the top 10. Then those outside the top 10, unfortunately, haven't been at too many of the rounds so far this season. It certainly is John McCutcheon's to lose. I think that's fair to say. However, he's got some challenge, and here's where it will come from. Paul LeMay is alongside him at the end of that qualifying session. Then it's going to be Ewan Bremer and Menno de Graaf with a great qualifying there for him to get up into 4th place. Jamie Bird is where he is in the championship in 5th, and Paul Clark in 6th. Then Stefan Mellis, Michael LeMay and Graham Matthew in the rest of the field. So not only is it McCutcheon to beat in the championship, but also in this race as well.
Yeah, it is. And I think this is going to be an interesting one because I think whatever comes out of this is going to go into Le Mans, into the endurance on Monday coming. So it could really, if people are within touching distance, but we're underway.
Yeah, everybody not waiting around to get onto the grid at all. They're getting underway very quickly indeed. McCutcheon and LeMay in towards turn 1, absolutely dead level, absolutely side by side. McCutcheon just gives some room for the first bit, and now will try and take charge through the second, but can't quite do it. And now LeMay will come through on the inside. Here comes Ewan Bremer as well. Does he get the slipstream, or is it going to be given to McCutcheon here? Very difficult to know what to do here. If you pull LeMay down the retroposter in towards turn 4, and Paul LeMay makes a good start there. The advantage of being slightly on the inside has paid off for him. He's got down the inside and through into the lead on lap 1.
Yeah, Paul LeMay with a great start. He's done what he's had to do there as well. He had to get over John McCutcheon at the beginning. That was imperative to keep his remote championship hopes alive. So there's no more drop weeks now. They can't do anything in round 9 and round 10. This is it. This is the final thing. Every point will count. So for these guys, it's vitally important. And for Paul, he's done a good job. What he needs now is Ewan Bremer to put John under pressure so he can start escaping down the road.
Absolutely. By the way, because of the field size, everybody is going to be reversed for race 2. Because this is top 10, so that's worth bearing in mind. It's going to be a full reverse grid for race number 2, but that's feeling like a long way off at the moment. The entire field covered by gaps that are less than a second. That means out of this corner here and up towards the Adjunction all the way up towards the first corner, it is going to be a one long slipstreaming line, as you might expect. Down in towards turn 1, as expected, fastest lap to LeMay. They all remain single file as well in towards turn 1 this time around. Just a bit of a sighter for everybody, but that's going to be the big chance in terms of overtaking late on in the race. It's the big stop at the end of the front straight, and indeed Jamie Bird's just made a small error there. Paul Clark's not that close to him though, and it's Michael LeMay who's closest. He's having a look for 6th place down in towards turn 4, and Clark just cuts him off. Yeah,
he's not going to make it easy, is he? We know Paul Clark, and he's definitely not going to make this easy for Michael LeMay to get through. Michael come into the season quite late, had a great, opening round, and he's done rather well in the process. So he's going to look at moving his way up at the same time. But I think it's going to be up here where we're going to see what goes on. John's been weaving around about a bit. He's been playing a little bit of games early on, and he's been doing sort of multiple movements just so Paul knows he's there. But he did have a little bit of not a great run coming out of turn 6, turn 10 there, and unfortunately that's brought Ewan Bremer in, but that draft train effect going out that straightaway is basically going to keep these where they are.
Yeah, noticed him going a bit wide actually through turn 10 there, Pica de Pato, and he's just lost that little bit of time to LeMay, but he'll get back on terms here. he'll get the slipstream on the way towards turn 1. And that will just bring him back into the fight. Another fastest lap of the race from Paul Lemay. As you mentioned, it is a really important day for the championship. Lemay starts the day just 59 points behind John McCutcheon. So he's got to try and gain here today with Luke Maxwell absent. He's not going to be challenging in the championship. It is up to Lemay, Bramer and Bird to try and stay close enough to even keep this alive going into Le Mans, to be honest. If they do outscore McCutcheon, or at least in the case of Lemay, if he outscores him, then it should be still alive going into Le Mans. Although, realistically, this is such John McCutcheon's to lose, even despite the drop week, as you were talking about. The numbers we're like to have at the final round means that you've got to be really quite close to McCutcheon to try and overhaul him at that final round. But, we've seen for some weeks now that he's been the favourite, McCutcheon, and he's been difficult to catch.
Yeah, and Le Mans going to be interested as well. John reached out to me during the week and he was like, James, are you sure you want to do that layout? And I was like, well, let's see how they get on. And it's the layout at Le Mans with no chicane. So it's straight out right the way down to the Mulsanne corner. So that's going to be, Ewan Bramer, big slide there. Got himself under a little bit of pressure and unfortunately slid away. He will move back in with the draft. So they're going to basically run all the way down into Mulsanne full flat. It's going to be a full draft train. These are fixed series as well, so there's no movement really. You can select a short. I think it's short, long gearing possibly that they're going to need to select to go into Le Mans. That is going to be a draft fest, overtaking fest down into Mulsanne. It's going to be so interesting. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, does sound like a good idea, actually, I've got to say.
Oh, you've actually given me your seal of approval, Mr. O'Leary.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, it's one of those things that we can enjoy doing in sim racing because it would never happen in real life. And we should probably do more of that kind of thing. So, I'm a fan of the idea. That was a bit wide for Michael Lemay. I thought he was actually properly off the road, but no, he's fine. He's still 7th. I'm a big fan of that. We'll see how it goes on Monday. That will be good to watch for sure, as McCutcheon just starts to apply some more pressure to Paul Lemay here. Bramer just in behind. If you're wondering, by the way, why we didn't mention Bramer in that championship conversation particularly, well, he is, certainly. However, ever since that first endurance round at Kota, where he had a bit of a difficulty, he's dropped back a little bit and hasn't really recovered from that. McCutcheon has been steaming ahead in the championship and has not been pulled back by anybody here. He's certainly favourite to win, as we mentioned. Meanwhile, Jamie Bird gets alongside Menno de Graaf here. What a great qualifying from Menno de Graaf, holding his own very well so far here at Interlagos. However, it is pressure for him now. Jamie Bird, gets down the outside. That's not a very big gap on the outside line there, but he's made it work. Now he's on the inside for the second bit, and that's a very nicely executed move for 4th place. What
Menno's got to do now is stay in behind him here. Paul goes defensive. You can see that in front with Paul Lemay. Big old defence. John just kind of sat there and went, well, off you go, son. I'm not really going to chase you across the racetrack. And he didn't. He let him do what he wanted to do there. But that was a great move from Jamie Bird, do it on the inside there as well, going through the centre S's. Absolutely stunning on that side of front. But I think this is where now John's going to come into his own. As we start getting into that last 15 minutes, he's going to apply pressure after pressure. Paul's really got to make a choice, and this is where I would play games with John now, going in through this section here as well, through Laurinahara, through SA, Pinarino, right round to Pico. I would slow down and really back him into Ewan Bramer, and then get the run out of Pico de Pado down through Magello and down into Juncal, and leave him there for Ewan to try and follow him. Paul hasn't done that, and I'm wondering whether or not he should start trying to play games, because if he leaves it open with John, John's going to take the opportunity.
Yeah, maybe, but I think Interlagos, it's one of those circuits that if you do hit your marks and you don't make any mistakes here, then it's certainly possible to defend from somebody even who's a bit quicker than you. As you can see, 0.02 of a second between the two of them that time round. Not exactly a big margin, but anyway, it's enough. And so, very interesting that McCutcheon is... and indeed Lemay is playing it like this. These two in this battle for the lead. It's under 8 minutes gone in the opening race of the day as they make their way down towards turn 4. And again, McCutcheon just holding back. Yeah, I think if LeMay hits his marks and everything, then he'll be fine. But it's just a question of whether he does that right now and whether McCutcheon can actually get a move on. Now then, he is getting a bit of a move in towards Ferradura. It's on the outside line. It's a very, very long way round there. And so he's not going to quite manage it. Now then, another look maybe. Not quite. On the outside he goes. Oh dear, it's a long way around there as well. He's finding this a little bit difficult at the moment, John McCutcheon.
Yeah, LeMay's putting the car in the right place. He knows he's got to hug the wall coming out of Junção down into the centre S's. He knows where he's got to defend, and he's doing a great job with it. As I say, I would really look at backing him in. I've got to be honest, I would take things a little bit more slowly. He needs Bramer to put McCutcheon under pressure, because this is going to be Paul LeMay's race for the next 10 minutes. It's going to be solid. McCutcheon in behind, LeMay in front. It's going to be pressure. And to take some of that pressure off, I would swap it back. It looks like Jamie Bird there has lost a place to Paul Clark and Menno de Graaf. I do wonder if he's made a mistake on that one.
Yeah, I suspect that may well be the case. As we'll keep an eye on that in towards turn number 1. Jamie Bird right on the back of Clark in this battle for the last spot inside the top 5. And they come onto the Retroposta now in towards the Decision de Lago. This is turn number 4. And a bit of a defence from Clark. Doesn't need too much of one. A big defence from Mellis back in the background. Yeah, I saw that going on. I thought, what's going on down there? Well, Stefan Mellis just defending successfully on this occasion from Graham Matthew. Bird having another go at Clark. Can't do it into Ferradura, much like McCutcheon, a lap ago. And, again, not able to work his way through quite yet. He's still probing, though, is JB Bird, still trying.
He's still trying to prod and poke in. Mellis and Matthews were having a great little ding-dong back there. Unfortunately, now Mellis has opened up a little bit of a gap. These front 3 are now coming closer together. It's only 1 second between the 3 of them. So we have to play this by ear now and see whether or not Bramer's going to be able to use that draft to close in on John to put him under pressure for Paul. So keep an eye on that one. Jamie Bird, Paul Clark, side by side as well.
Go. Jamie Bird trying to make his way through, make his way forward, if you like, here into the top 5. Clark just goes a little bit on the defensive, but Bird goes even further to the inside. A very daring move on the brakes from Bird. It's not quite going to work for the moment. The 2 nearly collide through turn 2 and off. Jamie Bird goes off slightly. Oh, very nearly comes straight back on into the side of Clark as well. Deary me, that was a lively battle between the 2 of them, and they get away with it, but my goodness me, he got away with one there. Bird now has a look down the inside again here on Clark. These 2 racing each other really hard at the moment for 5th position. Yeah,
Michael LeMay's tucked in behind this as well. He's going to sit back and watch this. We know Paul is so... his reputation precedes him at being so tough to overtake. Bird has got a bit of an issue. Is he going to be able to get the inside into Pinorino? He is. That should push Clark out on the marbles. Clark's going to keep it in there. Bird's going to try and cut his nose off. Not this time. Into Bico de Pado. There's contact. Clark's gone round. Or has he gone round? No.
Ooh.
Big old slide by Paul Clark. Manages to hold it.
Yeah, he locked it up just to save it there, but drops to 7th, unfortunately, as Paul LeMay continues in the lead, by the way. But, lively moment there for Paul Clark, who just drops back a little bit in that 7th position. Here is the battle for the lead, though, between LeMay, McCutcheon and Bramer. These 3 have been following each other, really, early on, rather than battling with each other. Just wonder whether in the last 80 minutes McCutcheon's going to give it a go, or whether he's going to think championship and think this will do 2nd place.
Well, to be fair, he hasn't actually got to go anywhere, has he? He can think of the championship and he can put him under pressure, but you ever seen John not get himself into a fight? Thinking back to the radical race series at Brands Hatch with Paul Clark.
No, that is very true. It's a rare occasion, so fair enough. So we'll see. Keep an eye on this here at the front. I get the feeling as well that John isn't going to just sit back and take 2nd place. However, he might have to now. That's a bit. Oh dear, he spun. Oh, he's spun round turn 7 there, or turn 9, I should say. Excuse me. He's stuck on the inside of the circuit too. He might be last here. He is going to be dead last. Is he stuck? What's going on? Oh no, he's getting himself back going again now. But 9th place, wow. Championship leader down to 9th. That's exactly what he couldn't afford.
Yes, he did not need that at all. And he's now 6.5 seconds back off John McHutchison. I will tell you now, once we swap over into the next race, we cannot replay anything from race 1 and 2. It will only be out of 3. Unfortunately, the system doesn't work in that way to allow us to replay 1 and 2. So we'll try and catch everything live. We both don't know who won, who lost, what happened, who spun, who kicked in, who went, whatever. It doesn't matter. Once we get past race 1, unfortunately, we cannot review anything out of race 1 and 2.
Okay, we will... keep an eye on that then, in that case, at the end of this one. Meanwhile, Stefan Mellis versus Graham Matthew down the straight again. Mellis is going very defensive and then pulls back again. I guess he's leaving absolutely no door open down the inside, and you can certainly understand that in towards turn 4. Matthew runs a bit wide there. Oh dear, Michael LeMay off the road there. And...
in pit lane.
He has been going slightly wide through turn 4 pretty regularly in this race. I just wonder whether that's finally caught up with him there as he was stopped in the barrier.
Have to have a look at that. The only thing we might be able to do with this is at the end, I'll have to try and find a lap on the replay and go backwards. It's the only way we can really have a look.
Okay, we'll try and have a look after this race in that case.
Yeah, we might need to do it after the end. Do it at the end.
Yep. Okay. We'll do that. So lap number 10 comes to a close, and Paul LeMay still leads the way. This is the only battle on the circuit now for 6th position. As I mentioned before, the entire field is going to be reversed for race number 2 here in 5 minutes' time. Over the line, there you go. Mellis still under pressure here from Graham Matthew in towards turn number 1. Oh, he's going to be under a lot of pressure now. Misses the apex there through turn 1, and Matthew's going to certainly see this as his opportunity. Well, did he really get anywhere there through the Senna S? Didn't look like it. He had a great chance there to get a good run, but I'm afraid he just didn't do it there through that corner.
No, he just didn't have the power down. Just did not have the power down to get out early enough. And unfortunately, Mellis gave him an opportunity. And I do have to be honest, Matthews missed out a little bit on that one.
He has missed out on a really good chance, unfortunately.
Very good chance indeed, to be totally honest.
Yeah, that is a real shame for him. Might struggle to get a better one than that, but we'll see about that. About 4 minutes to go in the race. As Mellis continues to defend from Graham Matthew. While this is going on, worth telling you about Season 3 and indeed the calendar that has just been announced. Season starting on the 3rd. Oh dear, well, I'll get back to that. Graham Matthew's gone for a spin. Jump shout, and he has to wait for McHutchison to get back going again. That certainly is going to be the end of that now.
Yeah, game over on that one. That kills everything going that they had with a great little battle that these two were having. So, unfortunately, yeah, game over on that fight, unfortunately.
It is a little bit, but there you go. What can you do? It's a mistake from Matthew, and he's going to struggle to back up again for that. So just over 3 minutes to go. As I say, the calendar just having been announced for the Season 3, which, as I say, starts on the 3rd of March. Oulton Park, Laguna Seca, Spa, Okayama, and then Monza Historic for an endurance race. VIR, Rudskogen, Snetterton, Road Atlanta, Daytona Roval for another endurance race as well. Slight difference in the format as well, 2-race format rather than 3 every evening. But yeah, it's a mix of the most popular paid tracks in iRacing and then some of the free ones as well, including a couple of endurance rounds again.
Yeah, we are. We're going to go do an hour endurance. So we're going to have 2 races beforehand for the normal sprint rounds, and then we're going to do an hour endurance with pit stops. So they will be back under a pit stop cycle on that one. But we're going to do 15 and 25 top 10 reverse, and a quali and 60 minutes for the endurance round. Yeah, and get yourself involved. Join the Discord, links in down below, and then you'll see all the information in the announcements in the Discord.
Absolutely. We look forward to the new season. As I mentioned, the season finishing after this on this Monday. So 1 week away, and then back again on the 3rd of March for a new season again. So we look forward to that. So we have just less than 2 minutes to go in the race. It's looking like Paul LeMay is going to control this one right to the finish, and this couldn't have gone much better actually for LeMay. He's got his championship rival down in 7th place. He's got everybody behind him in some form or another, and it looks like he's going to cruise home to take a race win here as long as he completes the final lap and a half without problems.
Yeah, I think that's the... he's just got to... For Paul LeMay now, this is kind of cruise mode, isn't it? He's got a bit of a gap to Ewan, to Ewan, sorry, about 1.4 seconds. So he can afford to chill and just make sure he hits everything. John, unfortunately, he's done what John did, and this is it. He's freed up Paul LeMay. Go take it, son.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Bird and Clark exchange places. Wasn't expecting that. There wasn't any gap below a second, but suddenly Bird has must have made a mistake somewhere, I suppose.
Oh, yes.
And Paul Clark has raced on through there into 4th position. So that's another one I wasn't quite expecting. But anyway, up towards the line for the final lap, and Bird has only got one more time round to try and rectify that and get that position back again.
Yeah, we're not sure what happened on that one. I've made a note of it. And there he goes up the inside. Jamie Bird, big send.
Whoa.
Big no! Oh, Clark was still there, Jamie. Clark was still there. Oh.
He's very damaged as well. Very damaged.
Oh, broken.
Dear.
Broke.
Very broken. Goodness me. That's a sorry looking car now, I'm afraid. So he'll join Michael LeMay as retirements from this race. But goodness me, that was a big incident. Yeah, it's just a case of not quite giving each other enough room through turn 2. Made it work through turn 1. And you can understand that Jamie Bird wanted to get through on the last lap. There was only one more lap to try and get back through again. However, also, you've got to give each other space, that is for sure. Into the final corner then comes Paul LeMay here in the number 27 car. And he's going to come through to take race 1 here at Interlagos in the JP Radical SR8 Championship. The first race of the penultimate round goes to Paul LeMay, who cruises up to the checkered flag and takes victory here at Interlagos. Indeed, with a fastest lap to seal it as well. Is looking in good form tonight. Menno de Graaf comes over the line in a podium place there as well.
First podium of the year.
Nice.
I am fully believing that is Menno de Graaf's first podium. Mind you, we have done 9 rounds. I might be wrong, but I do believe that is Menno's first podium of this.
Very nicely done.
Well deserved.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. So, Menno de Graaf showing some very good speed here tonight, I've got to say as well. Not only picking through the incidents. As here come the Paul LeMay wins the race ahead of Ian Bremer with Menno de Graaf, as we say, on the podium. JB Bird is up to 4th in the end, ahead of Stefan Melis, who gets into the top 5. Then John McCutcheon, 6th place, Graham Matthew 7th, and then those that didn't cross the line on the circuit anyway, Paul Clark and Graham Matthew. Paul Clark, Michael. Paul,
I don't know. What are you doing? What are you doing? What's your teeth?
I'm getting the Pauls and the LeMays mixed up.
Okay.
So
I'll let you go.
I nearly said Michael Clark, which doesn't even exist in the.
You are literally making love children between the drivers, aren't you? You know what I mean?
At least I said somebody who did exist.
Well, this is true. Oh, dearie me.
Anyway, let's get ready for race 2. As I say, it's the top 10 reverse, and as a result, that means the whole grid is reversed. Another 20 minutes ready to go. Although Michael LeMay is not getting onto the front of the grid at the moment. I suspect he might not be there at all, and indeed that is the case. It's going to be Paul Clark who gets underway from the front. Look at McCutcheon flying off the start there, immediately into the lead. A fantastic start from the championship leader, and that's exactly what you expect to see. Although he's got a bit deep. Here comes Clark again on the exit. He could have something to say about this on the way through turn 3 and maybe down in towards turn 4. McCutcheon flew off the line, but can he hold on to the lead here on the way down the straight? He's side by side with Clark. And yes, he will hang on this occasion. Then it will be Jamie Bird. Then it will be Paul LeMay, who's made a really good start there, up 4 places.
Yeah, Ewan Bramer followed him around as well. I think Paul's now on a mission. He knows he has to get near John. He knows he's got to go and try and overturn him somehow, some way, some form. It doesn't matter for Paul. He's got to get there. But unfortunately for Paul, the people in front are very, very tough for him to overtake. Jamie Bird and Paul Clark. And if it's a draft train through turn through Jean Carl going up all the way down into the centre S's for the first lap, they're going to be in exactly the same position. So we'll keep an eye and see how these guys get on.
Certainly will. Side by side down the hill here between LeMay and Bird. Oh, right. Oh, that was close. My goodness. Bird holds on the inside. But here comes LeMay on the cutback. This is a good stuff between these three because Ewan Bramer's trying to get involved as well. He was very nearly 3 wide as he tried to get alongside. Now Bramer's just going to pop into the bottom of the screen. Here he goes in the slipstream. He could have both of them here down towards turn 1 if LeMay lets him. But he's not going to. He's going to be boxed in, Bramer. Doesn't quite know where to go. Now Bird pulls right to the very outside. Oh, that was a squeeze. Oh, and they lock up as well. Bramer hangs on the end. That had disaster written all over it. But thankfully they get away with it. And in the background, Graham Matthew goes for a spin.
Yeah, unfortunately Matthews has gone round coming out of centre S's. That's through the centre S's, I should say. Traditional, he's hit the curb on the inside and he's gone round. That's how it normally happens. Ewan Bramer, Jamie Bird. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Dear, oh dear. Get away with it again.
Yeah, that's twice. It comes in threes. How long before they're not getting away with it?
Well, that is true. In towards Ferradura they go, and Bird is not going to get round the outside there, so Bramer gets through. Now, can they maybe use Paul LeMay in any way here to try and catch up to Clark or something like that? Because it looks at the moment like May has the best speed. That's a bit wide from Bramer. It doesn't look like they are going to be able to follow LeMay in trying to catch those up ahead. It looks like these two are completely engulfed in their own battle here. Bird again looks down the inside into the final corner. Can't do it, but Bramer goes wide, and so Bird's going to have another chance out in towards turn 1.
Yeah, he's going to get the run now. Here we go. Is he going to be able to lock in behind him at the moment? He is going to lock in. Which way is he going to go? He's got to go the only way Bramer's giving him, and that's to the left of him. Bramer's got to hug that wall. He knows this. Go on a big old defense. Send it in. Send it in. Oh, did he do it? Did he do it? Did he do it? He managed to hold it. I think Bird might actually have this on the exit.
Yeah, maybe. And he comes out the corner. He's still under a lot of pressure, Bird. I'm not sure this is quite done yet. Here he comes, Bramer on the inside line. He's got a little bit more speed. Just a little bit more speed. And in towards turn 4, he is going to have this done. There you go. Through on the inside line. So, Bramer makes his way into 4th. On the defensive again, though. Oh, dear. Slight contact with Jamie Bird as well. He now goes round the outside. Oh, over the curb. Bird on the outside again. These two are racing each other very hard at the moment. So hard, actually, that Manager Graffer's now caught them.
Yeah, Bramer now slots back in again after going half the track too wide. I actually thought that was going to come to disaster at the beginning there of the lap, and I really did think that on the run up through the Ferradura, I thought it was all going to go wrong because they were literally bumping and Bramer at the curb, and yeah, it was all getting a very, very dramatic going on here with Jamie Bird and Ewan Bramer. And now they've got Menno tucked in the back, who had a great podium in race number 1.
Yeah, a great drive from him. I don't think it's going to be replicated in race number 2 at the moment, but he could well get past both of these guys because they're so battling so hard. Clark and LeMay in towards turn number 1. Going to be going on here? No. Again, looking down the inside, can't do it. Here comes Bramer. Oh, Bird, I should say, down the inside of Bramer in towards turn 1. And again, gets the position. These two seem pretty well evenly matched at the moment. And maybe that is putting them in a good place here to continue the battle all the way home, maybe. There's another 15 minutes to go yet, though, as he now looks up the inside, but can't quite do it. And Bird this time hangs on. Probably the calmest opening to a lap we've seen from these two so far, but that isn't saying too much. It's been pretty lively so far.
Yeah, I will say now, over the last lap and a half, they have exchanged positions 9 times. That's with each one getting ahead at some point within the lap. So 9 times they've had a good old swap over the last lap and a half.
I can believe that.
No, it's true. It is true. 9 times. 9 times.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's been a good battle between them so far. Just wonder whether they're going to calm down now or not. I said earlier, are they going to go with LeMay or not? The answer was definitely not. They were too busy battling on their own. Is this going to continue though? Is the real question. Out of Junjiao they go, and up towards the left-hander into the slipstream comes Bramer. He's not quite as close as before, but there's still a bit of a way to go on the straight yet. Here we go. Looks of the inside. Bird sort of brings it over to the fender a little bit. Bramer on the outside line. He's going to have to go a long way there, and Bird made sure that he couldn't do it. That was good defending on the inside line there.
Yeah, we've also got Paul LeMay closing into Paul Clark. For Bird to defend this, he needs to go to the left. Not going to defend it. He's going to give Bramer the inside option if Bramer can quite get there. Oh, he thought about it going into the Interlagos, but he did not be able to get there. But he won Bramer, and Bird gave him the whole inside. The door was wide open as well. I am surprised he didn't have a dive at that moment.
A little bit, but sort of going back to what I was saying a few moments ago about whether they're going to... Oh, well, not anymore. Bramer straight in the wall. Well, that will be that battle over with. Ewan Bramer hits the wall hard at Ferratura, and he's done a lot of damage to himself as well there. Now, it's a shame to see the battle come to an end like that, but Ewan Bramer is going to have to go back to pit lane. He's going to be out starting the last race, I'm afraid, from pretty much down at the back as well.
Yeah, he will. Obviously, a top 5 reverse, so John will go to 5th on that one. Paul Clark and Paul LeMay will be in front of him if they stay as they are. Paul needs to clear Paul.
Yeah, he certainly does. I don't know how. It's been a bit of a struggle for Paul LeMay, to be honest, so far. I haven't been watching them so much so far, but feels like it has been. Now he's looking down the inside, on the way towards turn 1, bit tentative, but Clark also pretty much letting him have that. So LeMay now up to 2nd place, and that'll look very easy, to be honest, and it'll look very nice. Clark now will close in again, and, well, after letting him through, LeMay almost made a mistake that meant he lost the place all over again, but it looks like he's got away with it. Now he's got 2nd place pretty comfortably.
Yeah. I've never seen Paul Clark roll over like that. I can't remember actually any occasion, but he did look like he... Well, I'm sure there's a decision in Paul Clark's head of why he did that. Yeah, quite surprised. Maybe he thought Paul LeMay... Clark's never thought like that before in his life, so I don't really know. I don't know. Bit of a shock, but there we go. Moving on. Let's see how we go. Is he now going to try, and is Clark going to think, well, I can now use Paul to get to near John, or what the situation will be? I will say one thing. Menno was at a great race, race 1. And he ain't doing too shabby in race number 2 either. He's getting onto the back of Jamie Bird, and looks like he's doing really well.
Yeah, he's doing a good job so far. It's I don't want to say a surprise, that seems harsh, but you know what I mean. It's not something we've seen too much of so far this season, but Menno de Graaf is putting up a really good account of himself here in this particular round of the championship. Maybe just likes Interlagos, to be honest, and I know you can relate to that. So maybe there is maybe there's something in that. I always think actually that sometimes drivers overplay which circuits they like and therefore will go well at. I think if you good enough driver, you go well almost anywhere, and drivers talk about it obviously because it affects their personal enjoyment of the day, maybe not their performance quite. But I think on this occasion, maybe Menno de Graaf is just enjoying Interlagos quite a lot.
Yeah, maybe he is just sitting back and thinking, likes the circuit. I would be right out there as well, Ewan. I love this. I'd be out there battling John, mate. Easy. I'll be putting John under deep pressure right about now because I love Interlagos.
Yeah. I'll
Just agree with me. Just agree with me. Make me feel a bit better.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me,
Sure,
you know, I love Interlagos, so I think that would be what I would do. I'd be up there pressurising John. Just agree. Make me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, I'll let you have that moment there. That's
Thanks.
that's fine. Yes, it does matter for some people, I suppose. But as I say, I always think that John McCutcheon said, "Oh, I don't like this circuit," or whatever. We're not going to expect him to be last all of a sudden. You know what I mean? It's.
It was in race one.
It wasn't entirely pace related.
I'm just saying.
And he did pick the calendar, so if he's getting it wrong, then he's only got himself to blame.
It's on him for next season as well, mate. Yeah, I had one request at next season, and that was I wanted Fruxton, but it didn't make.
Yep, it was not deemed popular enough by John McCutcheon. I do wonder how many people actually have it, to be honest, Thuxton, but clearly not enough in the eyes of John McCutcheon. It would go pretty well in these cars, I would say, Thuxton, but and I think it races well in pretty much all cars, really. But we will have to see that for another time, unfortunately, on this occasion, because there is no chance of it appearing in season 3 just for the moment. Here is Mene de Graaf again on board with him, looking for 4th place here with just over 8 minutes to go. It's the only battle out on the circuit now in race number 2. The top 5 are reversed, by the way, for race 3. So just be wary of that as Mene de Graaf is trying to get himself past Jamie Bird here. These two are not wanting an incident. They at least want to be inside that top 5 heading into race number 3.
Yeah, they don't want any dramas. For Mene, we'll go straight on to pole if he stays where he is. So, big lock up, he's going to close. Oh, holy duties. I thought he was going to come and shut the door on him then, and that would have been Jamie round.
That was very, very close there. That was very close. And he's looking again here, down in towards turn 4, and no, can't do it on this occasion on Jamie Bird, who just runs slightly wide and gets away with it. Well, this is sort of the opening sort of look at things here, if you like. The opening look at just what happen here in the remainder of this race. How aggressive is Mene de Graaf going to be? And I think we've got an answer that he's going to be relatively aggressive in trying to make this work.
He's got his elbows out today, old Menno, isn't he? He's having a right old go. Better play to him. Go, Menno, go give it some. He's battling away. He's probably his best race of the season, to be honest with you.
I would say so. Yeah, I would agree with that, absolutely. He's having a fantastic race so far. In towards turn, or the final turn, I should say. Turn 12. Now out on the other side. De Graaf not close enough on this occasion, but he'll be delighted to be up here as well at the moment. Here, just battling with Jamie Bird. It's great to see him up here. And the way he's challenging at the moment as well, it almost looks like he's quicker. The only thing he didn't do... Oh, that's a mistake. That could really cost him. He locks up in towards turn number 1, and now he's a second behind Jamie Bird. If he can get back on turn from here, it will be a job very well done indeed.
Yeah. Oh, such a shame. So well, I just said he's having his best race of the season. Well,
yeah.
Oh, dearie me. But he's going to use the draft. He seems to be quick here, and he seems to like it. So hopefully he will... use draft and close back in. As we've seen, anything can happen over this race, so a lot more still to go. But John out in front now, 3.9 seconds. Is he going to find it as easy in race number 3, though? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, I wonder. It's despite the fact it's a reverse grid, it's not a huge reverse grid. So I think he could be well in with a shout for another race win. I think the main objective for everybody else, especially Paul Lemay, I should say, is just finishing ahead of him here. I think that's going to be a challenge in itself. But Lemay finished the first race in first, of course. Gained a load of points on McCutcheon there. He's going to lose a few with this, but if he can finish ahead of McCutcheon again in race 3, and he's taken a decent bit of points out of this round, heading into the final round next week. So I think he'll be pleased with that if he can achieve that. But as we've seen in the past, the top 5 reverse grid, because there is only 5 being reversed and there is 5 extra minutes in the race, I feel it is more possible that the winner of race 2 can come through and take race 3 as well.
You reckon? I think the thing is, I would normally sit here and agree with you, and I would sit here and, you know, we do agree quite a lot more than we disagree. But I think for John, there's going to be some tough people in front. And John obviously made the mistake in race number 1 by being put under pressure from Bramer. Is it a little chink in the Scotsman's armour that if he is put under pressure, he has a little bit of a wobble? Or I know he's human, and I know everybody's allowed to make mistakes. I just wonder whether or not in race 3 he's going to quite be able to have that speed, that patience. But if he gets off the line in race 3 like he did in this one, then yeah, I think he's got a great opportunity. But got to try and clear Paul LeMay, Paul Clark first, and it's never easy.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky. Yeah, very much looking forward to the final race. So I've got to say, De Graaf gets a bit of an error there, I'm afraid, through the final corner. He'd actually done a really good job of catching up to Bird again there, but actually he's just made a mistake there and has dropped back again. Does he have enough time here to catch back up to Bird and get back past him as well? Because there's only 4 minutes to go. 3 laps, I reckon, in that case. So, yeah, it should be about 3 laps. Does De Graaf have the time to do this? They've got enough of a gap behind to Stefan Mellis. So what they can do, if they really want to, is battle it out pretty hard. They're not going to be concerned about losing their top 5. They can race hard, but it's just a case of whether De Graaf can get close enough, first and foremost, now.
I reckon he can, you know. I reckon if he could stay and start getting the draft out of here, up into the Ferradura and pull him in as well, get him below, well, he's just nearly done 2 tenths on him. Going into, he's got SA, Pinorino, Bico de Pado, that he's just got to make sure he can stay with him here. And then the run out of Bico down into Zhengzhou, I reckon he can. I reckon if Menno looks like he's got the pace as well.
Yeah, it's so impressive.
He's done really well.
Yeah, it's so impressive to see. Really, I know we're repeating ourselves slightly, but it is very impressive. Just over 2 minutes to go. McCutcheon makes his way over the line. He has actually shown some really good speed, actually, McCutcheon, now in this race. Even since LeMay got past Clark, he's still gained time as McCutcheon here. So whether LeMay has just sort of let off the gas slightly at the end because he knows that this is a done deal, I'm not sure. I think he's probably been pushing 100% the whole way home, but he's just been outclassed by McCutcheon in race number 2. So it's 1-1 for LeMay and McCutcheon. See who can maybe beat the other in the final race and take the day, as it were. As Menno de Graaf closes in again, he's got to be about twice as close this time next lap for maybe a move towards turn 4. Other than that, to be fair to him, he might well be pleased to just sit and finish 5th place and start the next race from pole. That would be absolutely understandable, but we'll see what he decides to do.
Who's your money on?
I think Bird's going to hang on.
Here it come.
Yeah, I think so. I think there'll just be a bit of tentativeness from De Graaf to really put it all on the... he doesn't want to crash. I think he'd rather confirm 5th and start the next race from pole than risk finishing 4th and crashing.
Okay, well, McCutcheson's coming to start the final lap of the race.
He certainly is. And in a few moments' time, he will see that white flag. There it is, waving vigorously. Starter again.
He always does.
Now then, De Graaf. Where is he going to go? He's not going to go for it at turn 1. We knew that he wouldn't be close enough in time, or I suspected so anyway, and it's proven to be the case. But he's going to take the slipstream, and he's going to get a lot closer. Now then becomes the real tricky part. Getting through, getting past him here, in towards turn number 4. Up to the back of him he comes now, into the slipstream. It's a decent run, but he's quite a long way away. Over 3 attempts behind him, in towards turn 4. It's going to be an almighty lunge if he goes for this, and he is too far back.
Yeah, he is this time. This is his last opportunity. The only other opportunity he's got is coming out of Zhengzhou up to the run to the line, and that's where we've seen a lot of races lost in that point at that moment. So I think for Menno, still within an opportunity if he can stay with him in through this twisties.
Yeah. Oh, hello. That's wide from Bird. That could present an opportunity now. Menno de Graaf is going to have a go into the big code of Pat, or he had a chance, I should say. He's not going to have a go this time round. And Bird hangs on again in fourth position. So very nicely done, very nicely defended, but de Graaf putting pressure on him all the way. Meanwhile, out front, John McCutcheon is going to take race 2 here at Interlagos. Yet another race victory in the JPB Radical SR8 Championship here at Interlagos, ahead of Paul LeMay. Now then, what's that run to the line going to be like for Menno de Graaf? Is it good enough on this occasion? It doesn't quite look like it. He's going to miss out by a few tenths of a second at the end.
Yeah, but he is on pole for race number 3. There we go. He's on pole for race. Yeah, Mellis is not looking too clever at the moment. Matthew's going to get him.
He's just letting Graham Matthew through, is he? Oh no, Matthew not willing to go through. No, he is. Sort of. No.
I wonder if they've had a ding dong.
And Mellis just about takes it. Well, I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, you might be right. Might be a previous incident that he's trying to rectify, and Graham Matthew said, no, you're all right. You can keep the place. That's fine. Matthew did spin through turn 1 earlier, so maybe that was what happened. John McCutcheon wins the second race then, ahead of Paul LeMay, with Paul Clark third place, Jerry Bird and Menno de Graaf in that top 5. They will be reversed, with Stefan Mellis just missing out on the reverse, Graham Matthew as well. Ian Bremer retired quite early on, I should say. Michael LeMay didn't start. Going to be interesting for a couple of things here. Obviously, first of all, who's going to win the race, but also outside of actually what's going to happen up towards the front. Going to be very interesting and very exciting to see what happens to Ewan Bremer here in the final race of the day. Retired quite early on after that crash in race number 2, and he's going to have start at the back with quite a lot of work to do.
Yeah, he is, but he is looking like he's got some pace. But the problem is all of these guys look like they've got pace tonight. That's the thing, and I think that for them, it's going to be very, very difficult for Ewan to try and get through, because everybody's just looking quick. It's just, a bit worrying.
Yeah, everybody is looking very quick. That is the problem. I think, to be honest, that the entirety of the top 5 have some sort of chance of winning this race, which is something we don't see very often at all. But you know, it's uniform across the board that all 5 of those drivers have very good speed, and you know, I'm not going to count any of them out, to be honest, at the moment.
No. I wouldn't either, to be honest, because you just never know what's going to happen. Look at what's been taking shape. We've had incidents between certain people. We've had, movements with John's making mistakes. Ewan's put it in the wall. Yeah, anything can happen for race number 3. And I think it'd be very brave, should we say, of us to say who's going to win, because at the moment, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, very difficult to tell at the moment, that's for sure. It's going to be an exciting one, though. That much is certain. And in a couple of minutes' time, it will be underway. As I say, top 5 reversed. It'll be a 25-minute race, so just a little bit longer, but that still won't mean there's any required pit stop or anything. It's still going to be a sprint race, if you like, right the way through. So we'll get it underway here in a few moments' time. The checker flag waves now in the warm-up session, and the drivers will make their way out onto the grid in a few moments' time once the session advances on. As these drivers using the warm-up, there's a bit of a break, to be honest, between the races. John McCutcheon takes the first position then, ahead of Paul LeMay, with Ewan Bremer and Menno de Graaf on row 2. Is this quite correct? Doesn't look quite right to me.
No, it's not picked it up properly. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, fine. We'll just have to figure it out for ourselves by the looks of things. It'll be Menno de Graaf first, then Bird, then Clark, then Paul LeMay, then John McCutcheon, then Stefan Mellis, then Graham Matthew, and Ewan Bremer at the back. Doesn't look like Michael LeMay is going to get underway with these guys either this time around, which is a shame. Either way, the lights are on and we'll be underway for the final race of the day here at Interlagos very soon. And here we go. Green flag waves, and again a great start from McCutcheon. Really fantastic start. He's past Clark, but look at Paul LeMay on the very inside, getting past Bird and Menno de Graaf in towards turn one. What a great start from Paul LeMay, who now gets into the lead of this race. Side by side for third place between McCutcheon and Menno de Graaf. Ends with McCutcheon getting up the field here, and it looks like Menno de Graaf has seen first place turn to fifth after the opening sector of this race.
Yeah, it has, unfortunately, but Paul LeMay did the one thing he needed to do. Get out in front. And he did that, and he had to do it. But now, for John, he managed to get past the hardest person on the racetrack in Paul Clark. But he's got Jamie Bird in front of him, so it could be a straight shootout between John and Paul here if they can clear, if John could clear Jamie Bird, of course.
Absolutely. It's going to be easier said than done to manage that as well here, by the way. In the lead of this race, though, Paul LeMay heads the field. That's a look from Stefan Mellis on the inside line to the big cutter battle there of Paul Clark. He can't quite find his way through, but this is one long line. We haven't really seen this since race one. We didn't quite get this in race number two. This is a long line. Everybody's still in contention. Everybody effectively in one big battle here.
Yeah, it is, and that's the thing we've got, haven't we? Look, you can see right the way through, but the problem is now everybody's getting a draft. So nobody is really making progress. The only one that is not getting the draft is Mr. Paul LeMay ahead of us, of course. But he seems to be out in front and seems quite comfortable with there at the same time. Difficult to see where the overtakes are going to come from, but I am interested to see what Menno does here with John. Does he put John under so much pressure? Is he looking to go up the inside? Is he going to look to overtake? I think, to be fair, the night Menno's had so far, give it a go, son. Give it a go.
Let's see if he does. Oh, that's a bit wide down the bottom from LeMay. That's away with it. That'll be an off track, I would suspect. It's quite difficult to pick them up around here, so we won't be particularly concerned about that. Towards the fast track hander we go. So, for whatever reason, de Graaf not seemingly as strong off the line initially, but actually his speed is there's absolutely nothing wrong with his speed. He's right in behind McCutcheon here, and Jamie Bird is right in front of him. And we saw from the last race that de Graaf maybe even has the measure of Jamie Bird. You know, this is very encouraging indeed. It's just a shame he didn't launch off the line very well.
Yeah, but John's been hitting his starts over the last few rounds, and he's been absolutely nailing them every single time. So John's clearly got that point sorted out, and Menno just unfortunately didn't. He just didn't go anywhere. It's very difficult to get it right, and that's what Menno has got to try and learn on. But John, however, he's got to try and clear Jamie Bird there, and that's not going to be easy.
No, it's certainly not, but it's so important for the race as well. Oh, he gets close. That was well judged in the end and not quite contact, but it could have been worse. Through turn three they go. Graff was a bit wide himself there, actually. Wonder whether Clark's going to have a go on him. It's Mellis versus Bremer in the background as well. Bremer on the inside line, and he gets through pretty nicely up into sixth place. So that's a very nice pass indeed from Bremer. Meanwhile, de Graaf holding off Clark. I'll say ever since that third corner where he just went a little bit wide, de Graaf has been under a little bit of pressure but defends, and now they're into the middle sector where it is a lot more difficult to overtake.
It definitely is. It's not going to be the most easiest thing here, and they're going to have to just be a little bit careful. We haven't really talked about a marble line this evening because nobody's really made a mistake out on the outside of Pinarino. Nobody's really had a go on the outside, should we say. So the marble line will come in as the race goes on, but it's just not really been noticeable through race 1 and 2. Not like other series that we do where basically that marble line on the outside of Pinarino this week has been an absolute nightmare for some drivers, but it's not really playing a part at the moment. And John it currently has opened up a 1 second gap back to Menno. Paul Clark and Ewan Bremer side by side through the centre S's.
It's outside for Bremer. He's not going to get anywhere there. Again, looking pretty quick, Bremer, but not able to quite make the progress in the way that he might have wanted. Here we go now, onto the back straight he goes. in towards turn 4. Is there going to be another chance here? Not quite again. Oh, well, maybe. Oh, wow, that was late. That was very late. It was almost as if Bremer couldn't decide. And he's almost scared Clark off the road, who gathers it up again. And, well, that was very well done by Clark in the end. And well judged from Bremer too. But it almost looked like he accidentally went for a move there.
Yeah, I don't think he did that on purpose, unfortunately. Well, I don't know which way it is, fortunately or unfortunately. They didn't hit each other, which is fortunate. But it did put Paul Clark all out of sorts. So for Bremer, yeah, get it right, son. Get it right. Otherwise, next time you might not get away with it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It might not be quite so simple as Bird makes his way out of turn 12 with John McCutcheon still right behind him. He's still holding on to the draft of Paul LeMay at the moment, which is maybe reducing the sense of urgency that John has. But surely he knows that this move has got to be made pretty soon, and it might well be. But Bird's getting the slipstream from LeMay, which is going to help him, and again helps him stay ahead. And while there is the slipstream of LeMay, it's going to be very hard for McCutcheon to make this move.
Yeah, it's going to bring Bird's speed up, isn't it? That's the thing. And John's got to now and try and get near that. They're roaring above 130, 140 mile an hour. I'm surprised Jamie didn't follow Paul. We might have tracked him across the racetrack there. Menno, however, is nearly opening up a second on Paul Clark. And Clark is having a great old little ding-dong with Iwan Bremer.
Yeah, absolutely. These two have been going at it for a couple of laps now, and it's been good to watch. Bremer visiting the scene of his accident from race 2 again through Ferradura. Stays on the road this time. Thankfully, just over 5 minutes gone in the final race of the day. The longest race of the day, of course, 25 minutes here for race number 3. Bremer, as a result of that crash, didn't finish in the top 5 through that second race, and so he's got some work to do. We'll check back in with him in a moment as McCutcheon makes his way out of the final corner. Surely from here, he's close enough to make the move.
Yeah, but it depends which way Jamie sends him. Personally, I'd hug the wall. I would hug the wall. No, not
the back. Well, it gives you the outside for the next corner, so there's not really an easy way to defend it. We'll see what he does. Later on the brakes from McCutcheon. Bird runs him deep in the corner, but McCutcheon there runs it deeper, and he gets into second place. Now then, Bird will have a better run, a much better run. It was a really great line through turn 2. Oh, goodness me. He looked up the inside there. He very nearly found himself in the pit wall as he tried to make his way through. On the outside line, he's having to go for this now, and he'll go for the cutback instead, but McCutcheon looks like he's got this done, and well, that was very well done in the end. He's gotten away with it, and he's finally gotten into second place.
Yeah, Bremer's cleared Clark. So Bremer did make it through on Clark. He got it down into turn number 4. He got the run coming out the centre S's, down the Reda Raposta and into the Cida del Lago. Bremer took that position away. So Bremer's now got a second to make up onto Menno. Jamie there, he was trying to get Paul off the inside line. John off the inside line, sorry. And John literally squeezed him about as close to the wall as he possibly could. It was like a Schumacher Barrichello moment where he nearly ended up in the wall, and nearly ended up in the wall with the same thing from John McCutcheon.
Name I've not heard for a while.
Do you not remember that?
There you go. No, I do remember it. Yeah, it's just just one of those people I haven't heard of for a while.
Well, there's not often people nearly get put in pit wall, I suppose.
No, it's been so long since I've heard his name. I thought you'd accidentally got the name for a barrier wrong.
Oh. No, literally. Oh my God, Mr. O'Leary.
I'm surprised.
What, the surprise that I pulled his name out my poor old man memory banks.
Yeah, it wasn't in my old man memory bank, so although is that a surprise, really?
No, there's quite a lot of things that aren't in your memory banks, dear sir. So we're not going to go there again, are we?
No, exactly. Just less than 10 minutes gone then, and Bird is staying with McCutcheon here. Going to be very interesting to see what happens next here. Is it going to be McCutcheon moving forward, or is he going to have to stop himself from moving backwards? It's going to be interesting. I mean, LeMay at the front at the moment is it didn't exactly take that chance to run away. Now, I'm not saying it was going to be easy for him to run away and take a big advantage over the likes of McCutcheon or Bird, but while they were battling away, he maybe will have felt that he could get a bit further ahead, but unfortunately he's still got McCutcheon and Bird in his slipstream. And as I say, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens next here. Which move happens next? It's going to be very telling for the remainder of this race.
You know what, it's interesting, when I look at a tower, I normally do the splits coming down in the tower. The problem is, either split was decreasing. It was flickering temps and temps and temps, upwards and down, as both men were in the draft, of course. Bird was in the draft of McCutcheon in the draft of LeMay. And he's doing it, you watch it again here. It's 6 temps back up, 6 temps back up. The one below is 5.5 back up again. So they're literally side by side in the background, actually. Currently, Menno de Graaf has cleared E1 Bremer. Go Menno.
Yeah, he has. He's, well, back ahead, we should probably say. We should probably clarify, because this is an ongoing battle. De Graaf on the defensive in towards Ferradura, but Bremer does look a bit quicker, and he certainly looks like he wants to get through in these next couple of moments. Again, can't do it here at the moment, but De Graaf again putting up a really good fight here against a driver who actually does look a bit quicker than him at this stage of the race.
Yeah, it does. But Menno, he's driving out of his skin. Absolutely driving out. It makes you wonder, where was the pace at at all the other circuits we've been to? To see Menno here is absolutely massive for him. The confidence coming out of this one is going to be sky high for Menno. He's had a great evening of racing, and I think he's just shown us that he can actually hang with the big boy as well.
Yeah. He's certainly shown that, certainly proven that here today as we hit the nearly halfway mark in the race now. De Graaf still on the defensive here on Bremer, who wants the outside line. Seems that you do want the outside a little bit when you're attacking or defending, to be honest. If you can make it work there, you'll be on the inside for turn number 2, but there really isn't one good way to do it. Meanwhile, LeMay on the defensive there slightly. De Graaf under a lot of pressure here as well. Behind the trees they go. Does Bremer go for it? Yes, he does. In that 4th position. He's on the outside again, though. This is De Graaf winning the position back again. This is almost exactly what happened last time. He's on the outside for Ferradura, though. This could be tricky. Here he goes, right the way round. Very difficult for him to manage this now. And, well, he's held on for the moment. Here he is outside again. Inside for the next corner. Outside for the next corner. It just switches back again and again and again around this circuit. Bremer, though, gets his nose in front and now finally does take 4th place.
That was epic. Half a lap side by side, and now Paul Clark's been brought into it at the same time. So it's all going to be kicking off. We got battles of 3. They're in trios. McCutcheon, LeMay and Bird. Bremer, Menno and Clark. We got Mellis, unfortunately, on his Todd. Matthews on his Todd, and no Michael LeMay since I think it was like halfway through race number 1. So it depends which battle is going to spice up first.
It was both nearly on the last lap, but only this one has seen side-by-side racing in these last couple of moments. Or at least historically in this race anyway, these 3 have been going for it. Oh, De Graaf got that a bit wrong through turn 1. Yeah, now Clark is going to be under a bit of pressure here. Or Clark is going to be applying it, I should say, on Menno de Graaf here for the top 5. All of a sudden, De Graaf just looks like he's struggling a little bit more than he had been in race number 2, especially, and race 1, I suppose. But he's able to hang on this time round. Clark not interested in making a move, punishing that error.
Didn't quite get close enough to him. I thought they were side by side for a minute when I just saw them at the top of the screen there. But they're not. They're literally there. John has cleared Paul LeMay.
Just very close, really, between the 2 of them.
Might have a look back at that overtake. We missed that.
Yeah, okay. We'll have a look back at the race 3 goings on, if there are any to look back on at the end of this race. Of course, by the way, for those that don't know, on replays we can't replay a replay, so that gets a bit tricky. We'll do that at the end, though, of anything of note. McCutcheon, though, leads the way ahead of Paul LeMay, who's certainly not letting him go. Now he's got a decent run out of turn 12 to perhaps use in towards turn 1. McCutcheon defends initially, but
Oh, he's
not right the way to the very end. And LeMay had a chance, but he didn't want to make a dive bomb there.
What, LeMay's got a little bit of a better run there. John's looking a little bit scraggly. Coming out of centre S's. Get in behind him, son. He's got to fight him off that inside line if he's going to go anywhere, Paul. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to do nothing.
Oh.
Nothing, unfortunately. I thought he would have had a better go at him then. John gave him the opportunity by getting it wrong coming out the centre S's. And the problem is Paul didn't capitalise on it. And I think he should have had a go. I really think he should have had a go at Paul going into the turn number 4.
Yeah, it's difficult to really judge at the moment. I mean, on the one hand, yeah, you do want to take any chance you can get with John McCutcheon. That's certainly true, but you want to make that move there and risk it all going wrong with this amount of time to go. Is he just going to bide his time for a little bit later on? It's a very difficult judgment call to make. It is notable, though, that since McCutcheon got into the lead, Jamie Bird has no longer been able to stay with the pace. So he looks like it's going to be only third for him, unless the two start battling up ahead, which I think you'll certainly be hoping for in this race. Down the straight they come. On the defensive here, McCutcheon through the middle of the road almost, and now back to the racing line again. It's again going to have to be dive bombs for LeMay at the moment. That's all it's going to have to be. He's never alongside. It's always going to be a lunge.
It's got to be. It physically has to be a lunge from Paul LeMay. He hasn't got a choice. But the thing is now, he's now got to make sure he can absolutely, when he goes for this lunge, he buries the lunge. Because otherwise, it's all going to go wrong. And we'll see what happens here as we go into the last 9 minutes.
Yeah, indeed. Limited time to go, and he's going for it here. Oh, there's contact. Oh, he's gone for it. We spoke about the lunge and whether he'd make one, and unfortunately he has done, to the disastrous consequences for John McCutcheon, who now drops down the field. He's going to be right in behind Bramer. LeMay lets him back through again. He's redressed the position there, but LeMay's going to be overtaken by Menedograph as well, and this suddenly is a huge group for second place.
Yeah. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jamie Bird's escaped 3 seconds up the road. Oh, LeMay just went up the inside, thought the gap was there, turned him, and then, well, did the sportsmanly thing, stopped and let him through.
He did. Unfortunately, the damage was done at that stage. And that has allowed Jamie Bird out front. Now, because Bramer's at the front here and he's actually got pretty good speed, will Bramer and McCutcheon maybe work together here with 7 minutes to go to try and catch Jamie Bird? They're going to need to catch up by how many laps are still? Probably 5 laps to go, so probably close to a second a lap they're going to need here. I'm not sure they're quite going to have that amount of speed, to be honest, but Bramer and McCutcheon might well give this a pretty good go.
Yep. Bramer's going to have to try and go hell to leather and see what happens, because McCutcheon is sitting in behind him. I do wonder what's going on. Man, I can't believe that they come to contact. Now he's had to let him back through. Gutted.
Yeah, real shame. Oh dear, look at those tyre marks there. They're going to be. They look like they're going to be there for years. Those tyre marks. Anyway, that's what happens at Ferradura. It's the fastest corner on this circuit. Proper corner. I'm not talking about the ones at the end. They're not corners. It's a really high speed right-hander. Unfortunately, just went slightly wrong. We were talking about it. I totally understand LeMay needed to make a dive bomb or a lunge at some point. A low percentage lunge if he wanted to win the race, and I totally understand that. However, what I don't understand is why he went to do it through that corner and not either turn 1 or turn 4, where he had some better opportunities and some bigger braking zones.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe the gap was there. That's the thing. It's very hard to see for us because we only see it in one point. And I do wonder whether or not the gap was there, that then he had a go and thought he could do it. So was the gap there? That's going to be the question.
Yeah. I think if technically speaking, yes, but whether it was smart to do it or not, I think certainly can be debated. McCutcheon gets through then on Bramer. I think that shows he's not particularly interested in trying to catch Jamie Bird, because Bramer did actually some pretty good work there to close the margin. But now all of a sudden, McCutcheon's effectively undone that in the move, and so this is going to be a battle for second place now, and no more. Jamie Bird leading the way by some distance. I think he's going to take the race win here in a few laps' time, and it's going to be about who finishes second here, which we certainly don't know the answer to for the moment. LeMay had another look down the inside. Menno de Graaf can't do it. There's another better opportunity than he had at Ferradura that he could have gone for.
Yeah, but then he had that opportunity coming out the centre S's as well that he didn't make the most of when John made the mistake. So I don't know if Paul's going to sit back and think, oh, should I have done this? Should I have done that? It's going to be tough, I think, for Paul, because he really needed to stay ahead of him if he could have done.
Yeah. Well, here we go, in towards turn number one. LeMay again has a look at Menno de Graaf. Drops to fifth place, so it looks like it's going to be 3 top fives for Menno de Graaf, a fifth and a third place. And I think he'll be pleased with that, but LeMay looking to try and recover, really. How many of those positions can he recover before the end of this race, I wonder? 2.3 seconds the gap then, with what should be 3 laps to go. He's going to need to gain another second on this lap and the next one, McCutcheon, and even then, I don't think he's quite going to have enough time to get there.
Yeah, I don't think he is, to be blatantly honest with you. I think it's going to be, well, it's definitely going to be Jamie's race, and I think it could be a John McHutchison second place. That's what I'm thinking happens, unless Bramer can put him under deep pressure going into the next few laps, because we have not got long left at all.
Really not. Yeah. Just over 3 minutes officially, and with the timer ticking down the way it is, it will be 2 laps to go at the end of this one. 1.8 seconds the margin between Bird and McHutchison. Again, they're closing, but is it going to be quickly enough? It's going to be a grandstand finish if they get there, but I'm not sure they're going to. They're in a line though. This is a lot more organised though. That's the key. You know, LeMay's passed de Graaf, and you get the feeling that was coming. Bramer has accepted the fact that McHutchison's passed him, so all of a sudden they are maybe a little bit more organised. And indeed, we're into the 27s now as well. LeMay there in the 27s. Maybe there's a chance here, but goodness me, they're tight for time in terms of making this.
Yeah, I can't see it. I think Jamie's going to get this, and I think it's going to be here. It's going to be the battle between Bramer and John. I think that's where this action is going to take place, and I think that battling will allow Jamie just to run away and take the victory.
Maybe it's going to be a close margin of victory, no matter what, though, I would say at this stage. McHutchison leads Bramer, leads LeMay. That was quite wide from Bramer. And LeMay is going to have a really good chance now, maybe even into the Pico de Pato. Is he going to go for it immediately here? He might well do. No, not this time. And Bramer actually pulls it over to defend. So this will help McHutchison. Less pressure on him because the battle for third is on now.
Yeah, John's going to be able to use this to escape at the moment. These guys, I don't know if it's a good idea, but I think with this amount of time left, we're going to be close on the yellow, on the white, I think. On 28. I think this might be the final.
It will be white flag.
Yeah, should be final lap. There's Barney, there he is. Final lap of the race.
Absolutely, 1.1 seconds. Paul LeMay, fastest lap of the race again here, as he tries to get a podium away from Ewan Bramer. That's a lock-up. And he just about goes a bit wide there, but he gets away with it. Bramer hangs on to third place. It's going to be a last lap dash between these two to see who can stand on the bottom step of the podium.
Yeah. Don't even know who my money's on here, to be blatantly honest with you. I'm a little bit worried I wouldn't put it on either of them. I think both of these guys have driven brilliantly tonight, and I'm not going to put my money on any. I'm going to sit on the fence for once, and I don't normally do that.
Nice. We'll
hey,
we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, McHutchison got as low as half a second behind Bird there. I mean, it's hard to see him getting it on the run to the line, but if there is an error, Birdie's going to be punished for it, and that's going to be a lot of pressure here late on. He does know how to deal with these situations, Jamie Bird. There's no doubt about that. He's been in these situations before, but goodness me, this is still a lot of pressure for him to deal with John McCutcheon right in behind him. Here he goes now, out of Jun Chao and up towards the line. It looks like he's just about hung on in a topsy-turvy, dramatic final race here at Interlagos. Jamie Bird is going to win race 3 in the Radical SR8 Championship here tonight at Interlagos, just ahead of McCutcheon, Bramer and LeMay in a very, very close finish indeed. The top 4 covered by roughly 2 seconds after 25 minutes of racing.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Great job from everybody tonight. I want to look. I'm going to have a look back at one replay really quickly. Oh, it's drift out. I don't know how you're going to call that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was a gap that was there really for Paul LeMay. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that was really on there. But either way, it created a very exciting finish. So there you go. There are silver linings. Jamie Bird wins the third race ahead of John McCutcheon and Ewan Bramer on the podium. Paul LeMay just misses out with Manager Graff third top 5 of the evening. Paul Clark finishes for 6th ahead of Stephen Meadows and Graham Matthew, and then Michael LeMay, who didn't do race 2 or 3 in the end. Well, it did turn out to be a good finish to race number 3, rather created by the incident we just got a replay of a couple of moments ago. But yeah, good finish for race number 3, and good racing overall, as you'd expect to see from Interlagos.
Yeah, absolutely amazing racing. Now, what has that done? Giving a quick update now, the points have all gone in. Paul LeMay is 57 behind John going into Le Mans.
Yeah. So effectively, he has gained 2 on the day. I think after winning race 1 and McCutcheon finishing down the field, he would have probably hoped to gain more, but, you know, at least he didn't lose points and at least he got a little bit closer.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's double points in Le Mans, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
It's going to be hard.
You still would have liked to get closer, is my point.
No, I agree with you. I just think going into that final round is going to be very, very tough for him.
Yeah, we'll see who comes out on top. Of course, we'll be live just before 9 p.m. in the UK time. Ready for Monday night, that is, ready for the final round of the JPB Radical SR8 Championship. Very much hope that you can join us then at Le Mans for the final endurance round. I've been Ewan O'Leary alongside James Parfitt. Thanks for watching here from Interlagos. We'll see you on Monday for round number 10 at Le Mans. It's goodbye for now.
Cool.